All right, there's a lot to say tonight about the show, about how well it went, about just the heroism on display in the cast and on the stage. But I really want to thank you for the last month. Okay, nobody makes you try out for the show. In fact, it's quite a pain for a lot of you to do so. You have other commitments, you have other things. Some of you are at state competitions, some of you are at national competitions, many of you are in musicals, some of you are trying out for sports, some of you are, doing BPA and DECA. Like you have busy lives, right? Nobody would think less of you if you didn't do the monologue show. And certainly, when you put this on a resume, no college is going to say, wow, monologue show, let's let them write in. It's not a thing that people really understand without a lot of explanation. For the last month, you have worked and worked and worked to get your words just right, which is really difficult and frustrating to do. And something that, again, is not understood by other people or really appreciated by other people. You get up on stage tonight and you look awesome, and your words are precise and perfect, and people are amazed and they have no idea the amount of work that you put into it. I hope that you're proud of that. I hope that you appreciate how rare and unusual that is. You're teenagers, which means you're masters of the awkward walking away from a situation thinking, why did I just say that? It's very rare, as you know, to get your words just right. You did it. My friends, there are many days where I walk out of this building and I say, what did I just do? Did I just waste everybody's time? Did I just waste my time? You did not waste your time. You used your time well. So I thank you for that. I thank you endlessly for inspiring the teachers at this building with what you do, and the administrators with what you do. A very grateful principal walked out last night, reminded that this is actually a very good school, and the kids here are really good. So without even realizing it, you're doing a lot for a lot of people. All right, we got some awards to hand out. Some of the awards are distributed by you, the cast, and some of the awards are in recognition of senior service. Before we get too much farther, a couple of cards that we want to make sure that goes to Mrs. Glazik and Ms. Van Milligan. As always, Ms. Glazik, we can't thank you enough for honoring. The show for you is done, but she is going to work to edit it and put it together, and like many of the production, it's often saved in the editing by a clever editor, so thank you as always. And then Mrs. Van Milligan, please, if you go out of your way to stop by and just let her know, thank her, email her. She does so much for so many, not just here, but all over the school. And there are so many little touches this year that were much more precise and much better because her eye and her sense of humor and her sense of timing was there to point it out to everybody. So just, I'll put this on her desk and please thank her. All right, some awards. All right, first we have an award for somebody who, no offense to the people who usually run tech for us, but Tony was awesome. Every line was perfectly met by the lights. We had no concerns, no problems. Lighting only gets noticed when it's screwed up, but I noticed that it was perfect this year. So thank you very much, Tony, for being in. All right, we always give an award for Best Villain. The monologue show often has great villains, and this year, maybe the greatest in the 21-year history of the show. The best villain this year was Laura DeBezic! All right, there aren't many shows that can match the monologue show for sheer randomness. And we have an award every year called the What the Bleep Just Happened moment for the thing that makes you look up from your phone and do a double take and say, did that just really happen? This year we had 2 awards for that. The first best WTF Just Happened moment goes to Shoria Slithers Out from under the stage. The second one. Y'all were right on with this one. Tristan knows all the words to Sophia the First.
They're so angry. Y'all don't like Sophia the First?
All the words. All right. Okay. We also have amazing writing that can make the hairs in the back of your neck stand up, that can make you sit forward, that can make you hold your breath in. That kind of writing is so incredible and so valuable and cannot be done over YouTube. This year, the best goosebump moment is for Nonya when she went up an octave in her song. A whole extra level. All right, biggest laugh. All right, this is a very fun show, and the monologue show, you know, gets piled on for being like very angsty, but like very funny. And this year was no different. The best laugh this year goes to Lucy, who is an ally for incest. Best single sentence. This is the thousands of words and hundreds of sentences that go into this. This is the sentence that appeared on most ballots as being most memorable, as being the one that people, after they heard it for the first run through, waited and waited to hear the second time and the third time. The best single sentence, describing cucumbers, Mei Ling said, we have a trio of awards that we're handing out that ran without opposition, but I do want to say like a piece about each one, because each one was creative, unique, and did something that like hadn't been done before in the monologue show. We have an award for best comedic piece. Comedic pieces are pieces that are either stand-up comedy or they are like supposed to be comedic but like aren't a skit. And so Keisha Jane, come on up here. She did not audition with this piece. She came in with it a week later, and it was a fully formed piece where she was a bear putting humanity on trial. We've never ever had a bear in the show before, and I thought it was very funny. All right, best dramatic piece, another freshman, Concha, come on up here. So Concha's idea was a dialogue between a child and the earth. And as she explained it to me and as she described it to me, she said, I want to play all the parts. I want to be the earth and I want to be the child. And I had my reservations as a director because I wasn't familiar with her and she was new and I wasn't sure that she had the dramatic chops to pull off all those pops. She was awesome. And anybody who watched the last 10 seconds of the piece, yes, congrats. Congratulations. All right, and then Nonya, come on back up here. We had just one song this year, but it was an absolutely unforgettable banger. And just a beautiful voice matched a beautiful playing. And of course the lyrics were just perfect as well. So congratulations, and yeah, what a I can't wait to see what you do next year.
Please put it on Spotify.
Yeah.
I need you to drop it.
Really,
Don't be like Cardi and not drop some music.
All right. Okay, we have an award for best poem. We have a lot of great poetry this year. This one is from a sophomore who, ma'am, I was not familiar with your game. Best poem goes to Samriti Patra. An absolute mic drop moment at the end. Congratulations. Okay, best message piece. This is a piece that went through a lot of drafts and a lot of revisions, but when it all came together, there's no question that this is one of the highlights of the year. Best message piece, Mei Ling Sun. That's our vibe, guys. All right, best skit. I'm so happy that you chose to honor this because this is a skit that, oh boy, went through a lot. It went through recasting, it went through sickness, it went through loss of voice, it went through just so many things. It went through recasting of the security guards. Best skit this year goes to Emma Jenkins. Best duo and ensemble. For the second year in a row, we want to honor Ben and Tristan, but we also want to bring up a third member of the ensemble, Shoria. Come on up. All right, don't go anywhere, Shoria. All right. We always give an award for Best Newcomer. We had more than a dozen new people in the monologue show this year, including 9 freshmen. But the Best Newcomer this year was Shoria. All right, and like the Grinch, my heart grew three sizes when I saw this one was the winning vote getter for most improved for previous years. I couldn't agree more, Larissa. All right, we have an award for most valuable cast member. Ben, come on up here. We're going to talk about you a lot more, but there were many times when we were in a skit rehearsal or early drafting, and the question was, who can play this part? And almost always the answer was, oh, we'll see what Ben comes up with. So, congratulations, Ben. Okay, best writing. This is a show about writing. This is a show that honors writing and the writing process. And it's a show that just year after year is made of unique, incomparable voices. The best writing this year goes to Mei Ling Sun. All right, and then we had a tie for best performance. And we had one piece that was a very dramatic piece, and then we had one piece that was very comedic. All right. The best performance dramatic was Emily. And the best comedic, Lucy. All right, so I want to now talk a little bit about the graduating seniors who have been with the show for the last 3 or 4 years. The monologue show has a tradition where if you've been in the show for 3 or more years, including your senior year, you are inducted into the Monologue Show Hall of Fame. This is the 21st year of the monologue show, so you can see outside that door there are a lot of names. And those are names of people who have given something to the show, have given something to the school, and have inspired the people who came after them. This senior class is really important because when we came back from COVID, a lot of things had to be rebuilt. You know, we didn't have, for 2 years, we didn't have a show that was with an audience, and then when we came back, we had to relearn how to be in the dressing room. We had to relearn how to do Zumba. We had to relearn how to treat one another. But the most important thing that we had to relearn was how to be respectful and celebrate one another. And the seniors who are in this cast this year, which includes some other people who did 2 years and or joined us this year, have been so important for doing that. I'm really glad that we had 9 freshmen in the cast this year because we have 9 seniors who are going to honor tonight. I couldn't think of a better group of kids to teach the ninth graders that this is what the show is, and this is how we should be, and this is how we should celebrate one another. So what I'm going to do is I tried to think of like a word to describe each person. I hope that you understand that like these words were selected as a way to like honor you. And so like if immediately like you're like, that's the word you picked, just give me a moment to like explain. Because I have nothing but love and respect for each of you. Okay. Brianna. Come up. All right. The word that I wanted to pick was introspective, and that sounds like like a small compliment. But for a writer, that's the most important thing that you can be. Words have to come by yourself, right? That teaches you how to be alone with yourself. And if the words are right, they express something that is honest and true that many people wish they could say, and that you found a way to say. A line that I remember from your sophomore year, I think it was your sophomore year, is actually a shared line, I think, when you say, "Am I me?" And that's a line that I thought of when you were on stage last, because who are you? You're a generous performer. You invite people into your pieces, and you teach the audience how to say things that they've been feeling they didn't know how to say. That's the power of your introspection. So thank you very much. All right, Marissa. There are a lot of words I would use to describe Marissa: precise, inclusive, enthusiastic, passionate. But all three of her performances the last 3 years, I think, have shared like the same sort of like idea. And I think you describe it as like conspiracies, like about the world. But really, what it is curiosity. You are an incredibly curious person about the world, about other people, about how things are done, about how different performances work. You always ask me what's going on with me. Like nobody's interested in me, but like you are endlessly curious about the world. And I love how you ended your piece about like talking about how there's a new and better world just around the bend, just around the corner. Because I really think that's what's so beautiful about you. Is like you really enter every day with that hope and that belief. So curious is the word that I Okay, Mei Ling. I was not surprised to learn from Mr. Mehta that does you guys know Coach Mehta. All right. Well, anyway, I was not surprised to learn that Mei Ling is famous in the state, famous in speech, and I would definitely agree with that when I met him as a freshman, or her as a freshman. Like Mei Ling was already in command of her voice, already in command of her comedic timing. There were so many things that came fully formed. But what I came to understand over the years was that, like, as prodigious and talented and, sort of like, just like prodigy, she's human. That's the word that I think of. She's so powerfully human. All of her pieces, at least in the monologue show, have been about pain. And that pain is like mollified through humor, through introspection, through thoughtfulness. But she's always writing about how to be human. And I was so impressed with the work that went into this year's piece because she was really working through an incredibly traumatic, physically traumatic event, and trying to give it meaning. And that's what makes us human. So I just admire your humanity so much. And I could talk endlessly about your writing, but it's your humanity that makes sense. So. Good job. All right. Okay. Magnetic, charismatic. The word I picked was right? And the reason that I picked that was because I never know what you're going to say. And it's always funny. It's always good, but it's also always a surprise. In the best possible way. I don't know where you came up with the character BJ. Like the writing was there, but like the hat, the posture, the talking on the phone, the popping out of the curtain, every time it was something different. I don't know where you find the facial expressions. I don't know where you find like all these characters. It's endlessly a surprise. And for somebody who spends so much time making sure that the words are just right and making sure that the performance is measured and exact, which they're very good at that. The fact that you are able to tap into that chaos and bring something new and exciting every single time is what makes you special. So, yeah. Okay, Emma. Emma is unshakable. And like, I mean that like in just about every sense, all right? I don't know many more things that could have been thrown at her and her skit this year through no one's fault, honestly. Like, you know, like it was all things that came to her and said, all right, well, this person has no voice and this person is not well and this, you know, our lines are shaky and we're still not sure about the characters and endlessly. And yet she never faltered. She never got mad. She never took, you know, her frustration out on anything. She was focused and dedicated to the theatrical principle that the show must go on. The show tonight was very good, very funny, very precise. But it's not just like her composure that I want to honor. She's unshakable in her devotion to her cast. She's unshakable in her generosity. She's unshakable in like her ethics and morals. Her piece, I think it was your sophomore year, was it? The one where you talked about women?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like, yeah, so she's her commitment to being like a moral person with integrity is unshakable. And I think everybody knows that about her. It's immediately clear, you know, if you talk to her for a couple of minutes, so yeah, unshakable. Okay, Ben. Okay, Ben is inspired. That word, what the word inspire means is that it makes people realize what is possible and makes people want to do that thing that they previously did not know was possible. Ben wrote an entire show this year that's, as near as I can tell, not been done at Geek Club. It's inspiring. And there will be people who want to do it too because he did it too. Ben was in every skit the last 3 years. Probably not, but like he's in so many skits. And what that does is that gets other people excited about doing it too. And so I have a lot of people who jumped into other skits that might not have otherwise done it because Ben has the spirit of, let's just do it. Let's just try it. I got to know Ben as a freshman, not through theater. I got to know him through cross country. Guys, did you not see 6'2"? Keep fixing. Well, anyway, you know, cross country was not fit, right? I don't say that like discouraged. Like we had a conversation where I said, I want you to find a community. You know, like help you find a community. He found a community, but not only that, he helped build this community, right? I mean, like there are a lot of people who depend on Ben, and I find that inspiring. So, yeah, inspiring. Tristan. Tristan is funny, he's talented, he's kind. But the word that like I wanna like mention for Tristan is inclusive. Tristan makes everybody feel included. Like whether you just met him, or you're one of his closest friends, whether you're a senior, or junior, or sophomore, or freshman, whether you're new to theater, really just people in the halls. I see him like sometimes just like greeting strangers in the halls. It's a special talent to make people feel seen and valued. It's a thing that Tristan can do with the joke, he can do with kindness, he can do with just like bringing somebody in on something that they didn't know that they were in on. There are so many people that make others feel less or uninvited or unwanted. I don't want to belabor that point. It's 2025. We're aware of it. It's just very special when we have somebody who is as charismatic and talented as Tristan, who makes everybody feel welcome and on his level. So.
What you laughing at, Shoria?
Inclusive. All right, Priyanka. Priyanka is very honest. That's the word I want to share. And that is one of the hardest things to do. We all smile when we don't feel like smiling. We all say, "How was your day?" It was good, or it wasn't good. We all pretend a lot. Sometimes so convincingly that we forget what we were pretending, right? I mean, what is it that Kurt Vonnegut said? Be careful what you pretend to be because you are what you pretend to be. That's meant as a threat. Honesty is hard, and it's doubly hard to be honest with an audience. It's doubly hard to be honest, with friends, but it's hardest to be honest on the page. You're a talented writer, and I think that a lot of that talent is really rooted in your honesty. So I thank you for that. And wish you well. All right, Vika. All right. Vulnerable. That sounds like like threat, like you're in the woods and like there's a bear coming after you and you're vulnerable. Vulnerability is one of the hardest things to do in performance. You can get the words right, you can get all the gestures down, you can get all the manners done, but what vulnerability is like an opening of the self. We don't do it very often because we're worried about the pain that we'll receive when we're rejected, right? That's what it means to be vulnerable, is to risk rejection. For the last 4 years, she has fearlessly, consistently been vulnerable in her writing, in her performance, and most importantly, with everybody in the cast. I'm so glad that Mei Ling celebrated her time. Because you do that for everybody, all the time. And I hope that, like, in your vulnerability, you can accept that gesture as being authentic and deeply felt by everyone who knows you. So, thank you very much. All right, that's all we have tonight. I want to thank you guys so much for everything that you've done. And I wish you the best ordinary day where you don't have to go to any rehearsal, or just at least one rehearsal, I guess. Look, this black box, like, now it's just an empty space, and the people who are going to pass through here will have no idea what it was and what it's meant, okay? But never doubt that you can do that anyway, that you can do that with a space if you just trust your words and are vulnerable. You can do this anywhere. And juniors and sophomores and freshmen, please come back. Please do it again. You have more to say, you have more to teach, and there are going to be freshmen next year who I want you to teach. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much.
Wait.
It's like a blast off.
Okay, I don't know, but obviously everyone knows like the monologue show is for writers, right? It's for people who have something to say, who have faith that people are willing to listen, and have the courage to, get on stage and say it, and all of that is true. But at the same time, I do feel like anyone can say anything, right? Turn on the news, politicians do it all the time, right? What really matters, I feel like, is to know that, when we say things, that there are people who not only are willing to listen, but to really hear what we have to say, and to really understand. And I think for all of us, Mr. Rossi, Mrs. Van Milligan, Mrs. Glazik are foremost among that group. They are the ones who really, who amplify our voices, who make sure that the things we have to say, that our stories are told. And they do it because, not because they get paid a lot, or maybe they do and they're just hiding it from us. But, they do it because they believe in what we have to say. And I know this because I showed up to week 3 when I was supposed to be off book, and I didn't even have the final draft. They still believed in me. So, their belief in us, in the stories that we tell and the things we have to say is unwavering. I know Mr. Rossi talks a lot about, what is the legacy that we leave as a part of the show. And I know everyone in the